Okay, guys, so yesterday I talked about the possibility that Spider-Man and Sony could be selling off a bunch of their assets over to CBS or maybe even someone else. We don't really know right now. And that Sony would just become exclusive to video games, more or less, and making some TV shows and maybe movies through the Sony game division, much like Ubisoft is doing right now. And then that would pretty much be it, which would mean they would sell off, Columbia Pictures and all that. And possibility is that CBS could be buying them. Now, there's a lot of misconception what people are thinking. First off, yes, CBS does own 50% of the CW, but this is a joint venture and partnership between them and Warner Brothers. They are not physically owned by Warner Brothers. This is the first common misconception I see. So no, it would not be Warner Brothers that would be buying Spider-Man. It would be CBS. Now, the second thing I want to say is this wouldn't be the first time CBS actually deals with Spider-Man. There was actually a TV series based on Spider-Man that was actually made by CBS, and it lasted a season, and I actually used to watch it way when I was younger, before the Sam Raimi stuff came out, so I loved that series. It holds a special place in my heart, and that was CBS. Now, the obvious thing is, when what people really want to know, what they're concerned about, what would happen to Spider-Man? And a lot of people, and I've already seen people talking about this and speculating, is that CBS is automatically going to pull the rug under from the Marvel deal, and they're done. They're going to be done with it. They're going to make their own Spider-Man. They're going to ruin this. They're going to sell off Spider-Man, maybe, something like that. So I want to kind of quell your fears if this happens and tell you what would logically happen. So first off, there are contracts in play and in place right now. When Marvel and Sony signed that deal, this is a deal that cannot be backed out of. It doesn't matter if someone else buys them. This is a deal that's written on paper, and the new owners would have to honor this deal. Now, that would mean, let's say, hypothetically, in 6 months, Sony sells out. Those Tom Holland deals for him to appear in the Avengers movies, and the movies to still exist under Sony, would have to be fulfilled. Now, the Sony deal would obviously, the money being fronted, would have to transfer over to CBS. So they would have to front the money for Homecoming 2 and Homecoming 3, whatever those are called. Probably not Homecoming 2 and 3, but you get what I'm saying. That's what would happen. Now, there are a few other possibilities that we could talk about. First off, and I think the most logical one and the best one, honestly, would be Marvel would probably make a play to buy out Spider-Man outright, which that would mean they go in there and they negotiate to get the character's rights fully back from Sony, from the contract, from their new owners. Now, who knows how much money they would want from it, right? They could come back and be like, all right, we want $2 billion for him. And Marvel and Disney just laughing and go, we bought Disney for like 4, so he's not worth that much. So they could probably meet somewhere in the middle, maybe maybe $1 billion, maybe $750 million, maybe that's something. Or something like this. Maybe Disney goes in there and goes, we'll buy them. We'll give you, $500 million, right? I'm just hypothetically speculating here. And they go, but since you guys are starting a new film division, you guys can have distribution rights of our movie. This is kind of like the deal that Marvel had in play with other companies like Paramount, who, for the first bunch of MCU movies, you saw their logo before the Marvel logo even. And then after that was done, that was gone. Or it could be a Universal type deal where they agree upon it and the character is just permanently over at CBS, but they can do whatever the hell they want with him over at Disney. That could be another thing, right? And then when the movie time comes, they would have to sit down and talk it out. But realistically, Disney would probably try to buy the character back. Now, if that was to happen, you could probably expect nothing to change. Nothing at all would change. Pretty much because they would just keep on trucking the way they're going, although they would have a little more creative freedom, and I think they would suddenly start connecting the Spider-Man universe into way more of the, Marvel stuff. You might even see a few of the Spider-Man characters then appear in some other things, like maybe a Netflix show could have Quentin Beck before he becomes a Mysterio. That could be cool, right? So I think that would be a lot easier, but for now, it's still all rumors. Who knows if it's going to happen, but I just want to say, like I did with the video, you have to calm down. Spider-Man is not going to suddenly be canceled. Contracts are in place, and if those contracts are broken by the new owner, there would be so much legal crap that Disney could literally just walk in there and take Spider-Man back and be like, yeah, this is how you're repaying us for all the legal stuff. So that's it, guys.